But what can our listeners do to help you fight to get the full funding for that health program?
Contact us and join the fight. We'll tell you exactly what you can do to help.
Again, just contact Barish and McGarry at 911awards.com. That's 911awards with an S.com. Barish and McGarry, they are the lawyers for the 9/11 community.
Wins News Time, 7-Eleven, traffic and transit with Greg Rex.
They got some action across the Lower East River right now. As I see it on the jam cam, they're holding all traffic at the city-bound Battery Tunnel. Nobody's allowed into the city right now at the Battery Tunnel. Brooklyn-bound is a bit slow, but again, city-bound Battery Tunnel for now shut down. City-bound Brooklyn Bridge or Manhattan Bridge do better. The Brooklyn-bound Brooklyn Bridge still a bit slow. Out of Lower Manhattan to Holland, it's going to get a little worse. You got to break down to the left lane, and what it was a 10-minute ride is quickly back up to 20. Inbound Holland, stay with the Newark Bay. Skyway is slower. Inbound Lincoln's an extra 15. Outbound Lincoln got better. Citybound George, we're still looking at about a 30-minute ride on that upper level and at least 20 minutes on the inbound lower. Northbound West Side, southbound Deeg and Vespudu getting out of town. Southbound side of the Bronx River Parkway, you got to crash before Pelham Parkway. 2 left lanes are out, and it's messy all the way back to East 233rd Street at this point. Queensbound Whitestone, slowest out of the Bronx. Stay with the Queensbound Throgs Neck Bridge instead. And out of Nassau into Queens, LI jammed up from Glen Cove Road to the Cross Island, where a broken-down truck has the middle lane blocked. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here's meteorologist Brian Thompson.
There will be a lot of clouds around for tonight, and there will be a shower or two around as well with a low of 65. The humidity is going to be coming up a bit as the night goes on, and by tomorrow it's going to turn out to be a pretty humid day. After we had such a comfortable day today, it will be warmer with clouds and some sun tomorrow. We'll have to watch for a late afternoon or evening thunderstorm. Any storm could produce damaging winds and flash flooding. A high tomorrow 83. And clearing back out later tomorrow night with a low of 71. Sunday will be a pretty nice day overall. Pretty warm, a high of 87, but not as humid with sunshine and some clouds as we get to that high of 87. And then hot and more humid on Monday with intervals of clouds and sun. Can't rule out a thunderstorm with a high near 90. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
69 degrees and cloudy.
I've been hearing about the HPV vaccine. Did you get it for Ellie?
Yep. Gotta keep her protected.
Against cervical cancer, right?
It protects boys too, from throat and penile cancer.
Good to know.
For nearly 20 years, the HPV vaccine has been proven safe and effective at reducing HPV infections that can lead to cancer. Vaccination is recommended starting at age 9. Protect their future with the HPV vaccine. Talk to your child's doctor today.
The thrills never stop at Empire City Casino. You can win big with non-stop action, including electronic table games and over 4,400 of the hottest slots. Indulge in one-of-a-kind flavors at our amazing restaurants. Spin and win cash, free play, and unforgettable trips. This is your chance to drive away in a brand new car during our monthly giveaways. More play, more perks. Earn it all here with MGM Rewards, only at Empire City Casino. Ride the thrill. Must be 18 years of age or older to play New York Lottery games. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 to join MGM Rewards.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I haven't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-741-3889. 800-741-3889. 800-741-3889.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Everybody in the water. Jones Beach recording its first apparent shark bite this season. Happened Wednesday just after 4 at the Central Mall when officials say a 20-year-old woman who was in waist-deep water was bitten by what appeared to be a little juvenile sand tiger shark. We're not talking Jaws here. We rarely are. George Gorman is regional director of the New York State Parks.
We are taking every precaution that we can take. We have drones surveying the beaches. Now, with this incident, we have additional drones out there. Our lifeguards, they are on alert.
The woman suffered minor lacerations to her left foot and leg, treated at a hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. Although swimming was immediately suspended and the beachfront search by drone was not real. Believe it or not, we're already about a quarter of the way through the 21st century. Time to make a list of favorite movies of the millennium.
The New York Times ranked their top 100 movies so far this century. Obviously all subjective, but Matt is on board with the Korean movie Parasite, which won Best Picture in 2020 at the top of their list.
I think it's one of the, most salient films of the past many years.
The list gave Frank the opportunity to watch a movie he hadn't seen, Uncut Gems.
I was blown away by it. The review said it is one of the most anxiety-inducing movies, and it really was.
Other films in the top 10 included Moonlight and The Social Network. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Big boost to bus service coming next week. Governor Hochul and the MTA say, thanks to congestion pricing, buses are moving more quickly. More people are opting for public transit, so it only makes sense to add more service for them. 14 local routes in Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Staten Island will see more frequent buses as the MTA targets areas where there's no easy access to the subway and bus ridership is highest. Service has already been boosted on 8 key express routes heading into Midtown. Another food company says it's planning to eliminate artificial colors from its products.
They've used this cell line seemingly forever. With a name like Smucker's, it has to be good. Now the makers of Smucker's jams, jellies, and other products say their foods will also have to be free of artificial colors and dyes just over 2 years. The company says it's already eliminated artificial dye from many of its products, but they're still being used in things like sugar-free jams, ice cream toppings, and in other foods like this.
Ever wondered how they get that creamy filling into the middle of a Twinkies cake?
Correspondent Peter King. 6 weeks to the day after 10 inmates escaped from a New Orleans jail, federal marshals arrested a 9th escapee.
Federal marshals say a Crime Stoppers tip led authorities to the New Orleans house in which Antoine Massey was hiding. Police took him into custody and will transport him to a secure state prison. Massey went viral online several weeks ago after posting a live video on social media. In that video, he asked celebrities, including President Donald Trump, for legal assistance. Only one escapee, Derek Groves, remains at large.
That is Ian Ozan reporting. Law enforcement in Central California say they've dismantled a larger gang operation.
89 alleged members of the Bulldogs gang and their syndicates are now charged. 38 with federal drug and gun charges, accused of being part of a violent gang that's been terrorizing Fresno County for years. Kim Sanchez with the U.S. Attorney's Office.
They operated like a corporation, but their business was crime, chaos, and fear.
They're accused of running drugs and guns on the streets and in the jails and sending orders out from jail. Several of the charged are still on the run. Alex Stone, EBC News.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. More fiber?
What?
Ugh, down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
1010 Wins is a proud supporter of the New York Metro Ronald McDonald House Charities.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
69 degrees and cloudy at 7:20. Good evening, I'm Lane Bajardi. Here's what's happening. NYPD leadership pushing back on what it calls a deeply offensive decision not to allow its LGBTQ officers to march in uniform for this weekend's Pride Parade. 80 dogs pulled out of a home in Mill Basin need help and new homes. New York City outdoor pools open for the summer today, including that brand new one in Central Park. The new city budget deal will bring Sunday service back to 10 city library branches. And the script for the next Batman film is finally complete. Yankees host the A's tonight, Mets in Pittsburgh. Yankee weather says rather cloudy with a shower or two around, low 65. Tomorrow, humid, warmer, clouds, some sun, thunderstorm or two later in the afternoon. may produce damaging winds and flash flooding. High 83. Winds News Time 721, traffic and transit. There's Greg Rice.
Well, here is what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound George, about 20 to 30 on the upper, 15 to 20 on the lower. It's getting better overall, getting you out of town, but you really don't want the cross Bronx. That's still messy from White Plains Road. Even the Bruckner-Deegan combination does better. Inbound Lincoln's only a few, outbound's better than that. The Holland Tunnel, 15 to 20 minutes out as they get rid of a breakdown. Inbound Skylane or Tonelli Avenue, a breakdown in the right lane, so stay with the Newark Bay. It does better. Whitestone, the worst of it, out of the Bronx. Broads Neck and RFK are going to be some kind of better. Queens, Grand Central, eastbound near 188th Street. Somebody wrecked in the left lane. The eastbound side of the LI going to be better, especially east of the Van Wyck. Westbound LI from Nassau to Queens, bumper to bumper from Glen Cove Road over to Cross Island. That's where a broken down truck continues to have the middle lane shut. Westbound Northern State is better as that's only messy from Willis Avenue over towards New Hyde Park Road. Traffic is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Well, the NYPD is gearing up to watch over this weekend's Pride Parade. Officers who identify as LGBTQ+ will again be banned from marching in full uniform for the 5th year in a row.
In conversations with parade organizers, Brian Downey of the Gay Officers Action League says they were told their visibility makes people uncomfortable. He says this is about exclusion.
The ones being asked to stay out of sight are us, the gay, the trans, the queer, and our allied officers who have risked everything to serve both this city and this community.
Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch can't believe it.
So many of our GOAL members are just as proud about being a cop as they are about being LGBTQ+.
She calls the decision deeply offensive. Matt Rosenberg, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
In response, a spokesperson for NYC Pride Media said in part the Gay Officers Action League is welcome to march, but without weapons. Spokesman said GOAL asked for an exemption to the parade's weapon policy so their members can march in full dress, including the concealed carry of their firearm. Membership voted to continue the policy without any exceptions for GOAL or other organizations. NYC Pride remains in conversation with them and will continue. Meanwhile, we caught up with this year's Grand Marshal, or at least one of them. Multiple Grand Marshals, DJ Lena.
It means togetherness. Being a Grand Marshal, being a born and raised Manhattan night, and knowing it was a great honor.
NYC Pride March begins at 11 a.m. at 26th Street and 5th Avenue. Will disperse at 15th and 7th. Today, the Supreme Court ruled Maryland parents who have religious objections can pull their children from public school lessons using LGBTQ storybooks. Justices reversed lower court rulings in favor of the Montgomery County school system in suburban D.C. The High Court ruled that the schools likely could not require elementary school children to sit through lessons involving the books if parents expressed religious objections to the material. The decision was not a final ruling in the case, but the justices strongly suggested the parents will prevail. An update to a story we told you about yesterday. More than 80 dogs pulled from a Mill Basin, Brooklyn home where a 73-year-old woman was found dead. Cause of death under investigation. An animal group now says the dogs need fostering help. Marlon Roberts, Executive Director of New York City Life Saving Center, Best Friends Animal Society.
At the moment, they were getting them suited up and ready and making sure they're spayed or neutered or current vaccinations and medically well enough to go through different procedures to be prepared for adoption.
Visit bestfriends.org for more info. Out of nowhere, a sudden flood on a Long Island street from a water main break. Now residents cleaning up the mess.
Residents on this Nesconset dead-end street say flooding has never been an issue, even after bad storms. But because of workers causing a water main break, their street looked more like a river.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything. It was just pouring, and it was just going down the block, and that neighbor's yelling, and this neighbor's yelling, and I was just like, it's not me. I didn't do it.
Her rock driveway damaged, along with their deck in the backyard.
I don't know if the deck is, as supported as well as it's supposed to be right now.
The water's so forceful it gushed into the backyard of the houses on the next street, causing flooding in one man's shed. Sophia Hall, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM in Nesconset, Long Island.
No one goes on vacation until President Trump's big spending bill is passed. That message for Congress from the president after the Senate parliamentarian, its chief rulemaker, rejected controversial changes to Medicaid in the legislation. forcing lawmakers to make last-minute changes before the July 4th deadline set by Trump.
We already heard Speaker Mike Johnson say earlier today that it would be, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it would be a disappointment, but he could see a world in which the work on this bill is going to slide to after the 4th of July. That is the exact opposite of what President Trump wants. He said he wants lawmakers to stay. He wants them to work the weekend. He wants them to work into next week, even though the July 4th holiday is sacrosanct.
That's correspondent Jay O'Brien. Now Bloomberg Money Watch.
After flirting with all-time highs for days, the NASDAQ and S&P 500 finally pushed into record territory and stayed there. NASDAQ rose 106 to a new high, S&P up 32. No new high for the Dow, but it still rose a respectable 432. As Wall Street cheered a report showing inflation remaining tepid last month, although it also shows U.S. personal incomes and spending unexpectedly down. Providing an assist, rising hope for trade deals between the U.S. and major trading partners, and the latest measure of consumer sentiment hitting a 4-month high, although historically, sentiment is still pretty low. You've probably noticed that several retail chains have been locking up items targeted by shoplifters in recent years. Walmart has been experimenting with letting Walmart Plus members unlock the doors with its app. Bloomberg News reports Target is testing the smartphone as a key as well. The option could be offered to users of Target's paid membership program as well as its employees. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. Manager O'Day for 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Now this message, life's a journey. Wear comfortable shoes. EricShoes.com.
You always lease for much, much less at 2 Premier Fords in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn's finest in Ford with 2 great locations, Kings Highway at Utica Avenue or 86th Street in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. This month there are no price increases at Premier, only decreases. You heard right. The prices are all decreased this month at Premier Ford's 2 great locations. Brand new 2024 Broncos and Bronco Sports, seriously reduced with discounts as much as $15,000 off MSRP. New 2024 and 2025 F-150, F-250, and F-350 trucks, also with serious decreases. When you need service, there is never a wait at Premier Ford. No service appointment is ever necessary. Just come on in to the best Ford service in the tri-state. And as Brooklyn's only certified Ford dealer, you need to return any Ford lease at Premier. No increase in prices, only decreases on brand new 2024 Broncos, Bronco Sport, and all trucks at the one and only Premier Ford in Brooklyn.
Double the selection, double the savings at Premier Ford today. Yippee-yo-ki-yay.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, real soft, fresh tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Cars for Kids, your trusted charity for car donations, also accepts donations of boats, RVs, motorcycles, and real estate. Call today, 877 Cars for Kids.
69 degrees, cloudy skies. Do have some rain ahead this weekend. Details in the 4-day forecast in 2 minutes. I'm Lane Pajardi. Wings News Time, 7:30.
Good evening, I'm Mario Bosques, ready to get in the swim. City Public's pools now open. A new one in Central Park is drawing big crowds after a 5-year, $160 million renovation funded by the city and the Central Parks Conservancy.
School's out, pool's in, and this brand new one on the footprint of the old Lasker pool is more country club than municipal watering hole.
I don't think Harlem has had anything this beautiful.
Well, the landscaping they've done is magnificent. They have concessions and lockers. The stonework, I think, was limestone brought in from upstate New York.
And it just kind of changes the whole vibe and landscape. The larger-than Olympic-sized pool is a turquoise jewel of a $160 million renovation of the Harlem Mere, and it is now open from 11 to 7 daily. Marla Diamond, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM in Marla.
This is just one of 65 public schools in the 5 boroughs. They are to remain open until Sunday, September 7th. Wings News Time, 7:31. Time for traffic and transit. Right to Greg Rice.
Outbound side of the Holland going to start getting a little bit better. They did get rid of the earlier breakdown. Still about a 15 to 20-minute ride at the outbound Holland. Inbound, stay with the Newark Bay. The inbound Skyway over at Tunnelly Avenue, stall in the right lane. Lincoln's about an extra 10 minutes in. Outbound Lincoln's fine. The citybound side of the George, still 30 on the upper, 15 to 20 on the inbound lower level cross Bronx. The worst of it out. Bruckner-Deegan combination. Yeah, that'll treat you a whole lot better. Queens, eastbound Grand Central near 188th Street. We're dealing with a crash in the left lane. That'll slow you down back towards Kew Gardens. And on the Long Island Expressway westbound, getting out towards the area of the Cross Island Parkway, we are looking at a broken down truck. That has the middle lane blocked, and that's got you slow all the way back to Glen Cove Road. Westbound Northern State, if you're not in a truck, that will treat you a whole lot better. Traffic is sponsored by the New Jersey Division of Travel and Tourism. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
New Jersey's got a lot of summer wow. From sun and wows to fun and wows. And every wow in between. Find your wow at visitnj.org. New Jersey, little state, lot of wow.
On to the AccuWeather 4-day forecast, including the weekend, of course, with meteorologist Brian Thompson.
After a couple of comfortable days across the area, even some weather that was a bit on the cool side for this time of year, we are going to see more summer-like weather return for the weekend. Even late tonight, the humidity will start to rise a bit. We'll have clouds and a shower or two. Tonight's all around 65. Humid and warmer tomorrow with clouds and some sun. Most of the day will be dry, but very late in the day and into the evening hours, there will be some thunderstorms that move on through, and those could produce some flooding, downpours, even some damaging wind gusts. High 83 tomorrow, turning out partly cloudy later tomorrow night, low 71. Partly to mostly sunny, very warm on Sunday, but not as humid with a high of 87. And hot and more humid Monday with intervals of clouds and sun. Can't rule out a thunderstorm with a high near 90. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
This summer, just beginning a likely shark bite reported at Jones Beach. A woman, 20, officials say, was swimming in the Long Island waters. Officials say when she was bitten in waist-deep water at the Central Mall beachfront late Wednesday. Regional Director, State Parks George Gorman telling 1010 Win.
At first, we weren't sure what the bite was on site. We referred it to the U.S. State Department of Environmental Conservation and their marine biologists. In all likelihood, it was a sand tiger shark, a juvenile sand tiger shark. So it was a smaller fish that did her.
The swimmer with minor lacerations to her left foot, leg, and transported to Nassau County University Medical Center for treatment of non-life-threatening injuries. Swimming suspended. The beachfront search by drone for dangerous marine life. Negative results, they say. Swimming resumed yesterday morning. Some rocks are rocking the scientific world.
In the journal Science, new research has dated rocks on the eastern shore of Hudson Bay, Canada, to be some 4.16 billion years old. Scientists are excited because they got the same age using 2 different dating methods. This latest study tested a different section of rock with both testing methods.
It's not just a fight about, my rocks are older than your rocks. That's not the point. The point is, are we opening a window at a certain time, at 4.3 billion years ago or 3.8 billion years ago or any other time.
The rock formation is in the Nouveau-Egittu greenstone belt, and O'Neill says those rocks may just hold the traces of life. I'm Donna Wooder.
Under a budget deal, more access to books amid word that 10 libraries will be open on Sundays. After an agreement by city leaders, this will include $15 million in operating expenses. No word yet on which branches will remain open on Sundays. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a...
Reactions caught on dashcam as fireballs went streaking across a bright blue sky on Thursday afternoon. They were seen and heard as loud booms over much of the southeast. Those who saw them saying...
Really cool to see, but just definitely not the ordinary.
Today, NASA saying it was a meteor moving at 30,000 miles an hour, disintegrated into smaller fireballs 27 miles above West Forest, Georgia, unleashing the power of about 20 tons of TNT. That created the booms heard. Pieces of it even pierced like bullets into a Georgia home. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Time to redraw the celestial map with the discovery of a new planet outside the solar system.
It's 110 light years from Earth and orbits a star known as TWA-7. It's the first planet to be spotted by the James Webb Space Telescope since its launch 4 years ago.
It is 10 times lighter than the planets that have been imaged so far.
Anne-Marie Lagrange at the French National Center for Scientific Research says the planet is young, about 6 million years old, with a surface temperature of 120 degrees. She's hopeful James Webb is just getting started.
We could still be able to detect even lighter planets.
Michael Wallace. Are you considering sponsoring your fiancé, spouse, parents, and other family members for a green card? Gahey & Associates is one of New York's most trusted immigration law firms. Call them at 956-GAHEY Law for a free consultation. Immigration issues can be difficult, but the attorneys at Gahey Law can make it easier. Call them at 956-434-4529. That's 956-434-GAHEY Law or at GaheyLaw.com. Gahey is spelled G-E-H-I.
This is an attorney advertisement. See y'all last month. Gain Super Flings are here to take your laundry to the next level. Talking about Gain Super Flings. Super size laundry bags. These things are huge. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings. Gain Super Flings laundry pads have 4 times the Oxy cleaning power and 3 times the Febreze freshness versus Gain Original Liquid. Super fresh, super clean. Gain Super Flings. Gain Super Flings for next level laundry.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
Wins News Time, 7:38. 1010 Wins Entertainment. Move Over Superman. The script to a Batman sequel is a done deal. Writer-director Matt Reeves sharing a photo online of the finished script. He says, good news for those Batman fans. The Batman Part 2 was originally announced in April 2 years ago. After the Robert Pattinson blockbuster soared into theaters March the 4th, that year, the sequel now set for release October of 2027. Lisa Kudrow will be back in a new season of The Comeback. The comedy was first debuted 20 years ago on HBO.
Well, I've got a new show. How's that? And I'm so excited about it. I think you need to say more about what the show is. Jane, I said this was the last time, and that was the last time.
Scheduled to debut next year. Take a Bow 6 becomes the longest running show at the Lena Horne Theater tonight when the Tony-winning musical marks its 1,545th performance. Get away.
Entertainment on 1010 Wins is sponsored by Shulman & Hill, New York's injury lawyers.
Go to hurtny.com.
That's hurtny.com.
The Starbucks Summer Berry Refresher is officially back. Bold notes of raspberry, blueberry, and blackberry shaken with ice and poured over raspberry-flavored pearls. Try it with lemonade or coconut milk. Available for a limited time. Your Summer Berry Refresher is ready at Starbucks.
Find what you love what you find. Total wine and more. So much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guys in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21. Having a tough time paying your bills? Learn how to reduce your credit card debt to a fraction of what you owe. Call the Debt Helpline now for free advice. 800-329-9912. 800-329-9912.
1010 Wins at 92.3 FM, moving at the speed of New Yorkers.
The News Watch never stops. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good afternoon, 67 degrees, partly cloudy skies at 7:40. I'm Mario Bosquez. Here's what's happening. Good financial news in the city budget about childcare ahead for parents and caregivers struggling to make it happen. One Long Island teen accused of shooting and injuring another during a fight. The suspect, 14, shooting himself in the hand. A major LGBTQ ruling from the nation's highest court. A settlement in the ill-fated Rust movie set case that claimed the life of a cinematographer. City restaurants to go to the dogs. AccuWeather cloudy, shower or two go around. Don't rule it out. Low 65. Tomorrow's high 83. Chance of strong thunderstorms. Quiz News time 7:41. Traffic and transit. Here's Greg Rice.
Oh, eastbound Long Island Expressway over at the Clearview. Looks like you got a big-time crash at this hour. An absolute mess. You got a rollover, a bunch of cars involved in this crash. Eastbound LI at the Clearview, 3 lanes are out. Westbound, you got the left lane out. That's in addition to a broken-down truck on the westbound Long Island Expressway over at the Cross Island. So the eastbound LI at the Clearview, a rollover. Westbound LI at the Cross Island, a broken-down truck. Southbound side of the Whitestone Expressway, all of a sudden, we're looking at a standstill from right around 20th Avenue all the way down to Northern Boulevard. Stay with the southbound Clearview instead. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound George, 45 up, 30 down. West side, the best of it out. Cross Bronx and southbound Deegan, the worst. Lincoln back up to 20 and 10 out. Outbound Holland, 15 because of an earlier breakdown. Inbound Skyway, slow with a stall at Tonley. Newark Bay is better. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Good financial news in the city budget regarding child care for parents and caregivers who are just trying to make ends meet.
New Yorkers United for Child Care applauded the deal, expected to provide $10 million for a pilot program making child care free for low-income families with children 2 and under. Helen Calder is one of the group's 6,000 members.
It is proof that our advocacy works.
Calder, a working mom of 2 from Brooklyn, said she found affordable child care in New Jersey.
I crossed 2 rivers and a state line for childcare, and as a native New Yorker, that is now becoming common.
The mayor made cuts to early childhood education programs that he later reversed. Marla Diamond, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
As the Diddy trial reaches its conclusion, the word acquit drawing cheers.
Diddy supporters in the overflow room applauded when the defense completed its summation to the jury, telling them, "You are the United States of America. You should summon your courage and do the right thing and acquit," and return Mr. Combs to his family, who was waiting for him. Combs' mother and grown children were in the courtroom today, but prosecutors got the final word, telling jurors they didn't get the whole story from the defense, and Sean Diddy Combs won't wiggle out of the charges. Julia Papa, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Combs' family sitting behind him. Jurors are expected to begin deliberating Monday after the judge instructs them in the law. Keep it here. We're following the story. One Long Island teen is accused of shooting and injuring another during a fight. The suspect, 14, shooting himself in the hand during the process. Suffolk County Police say this all went down in Patchogue Thursday on Edward Street around 4:30 in the afternoon. 5 boys getting into a fight. A 14-year-old allegedly pulling out a gun. A teen 17 shot multiple times, but expected to survive his injuries. The suspect facing assault, criminal possession of a weapon charges. No word what led to this initial fight before the gunfire. Prolonged symptoms from 9/11.
Stony Brook Medicine Dr. Frank Mann says of the 13,000 World Trade Center responders studied, about 10% experienced worse or persistent PTSD symptoms.
And they were tracked from 2002, and this study concluded in 2022.
It took a long time for some of the responders' symptoms to improve, about 10 years.
The World Trade Center responders are comprised of police and firefighters and EMS, and what we typically think of as traditional first responders. There were also a lot of volunteers, and those folks don't have any sort of pre-deployment training.
Sophia Hall, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM on Long Island.
Hey, it's Greg Rice. So, who does your laundry? For my wife and me, now it's rinse. Used to be one day during the week, I'd get up early, start the laundry, then we get our kids up, get them ready and off to school. In between, I was turning over the laundry, getting as much done as I could, and then when I left for work, My wife would handle the rest. Not anymore. Now Rinse does our laundry. They pick it up, it's back the next day, washed and folded. Rinse does our laundry, and we don't have to worry about it anymore, so we've got more time with our kids. Sign up at rinse.com and get $20 off your first order. That's RINSE.com.
New York, listen up. Currently, 6.7 million of us have affordable health insurance through New York State of Health. However, new federal policies could put up to 1.5 million New Yorkers at risk of losing that coverage. That's too many families, workers, and small business owners left in the dark. We don't know exactly what's coming, but your story matters. Stay connected. We'll keep you informed with real facts at nystateofhealth.ny.gov because 1.5 million without coverage is 1.5 million too many. Paid for by New York State Health.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right?
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft coat of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things. Like his new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades. eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Some city officials say this weekend's Pride Parade is out of step with them after parade organizers extend a policy not allowing cops to march in uniform.
Jessica Tisch didn't see this coming. She says it was an 11th-hour decision after she thought organizers would reverse their policy.
It is the height of hypocrisy. The uniformed officers from Gold are fit to line the parade route and keep everyone safe, but they are unable to march in their own uniform and under their own banner.
It was a surprise to Brian Downey as well. He runs GOLD, the Gay Officers Action League.
We were told our presence, our visibility, makes people uncomfortable.
At the time of the 2021 decision, organizers said law enforcement were threatening and at times dangerous to the community. Mac Rosenberg, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
We have reached out to the organizers for comment. A major LGBTQ ruling from the nation's highest court, the Supreme Court ruling today that Maryland parents with religious objections can pull their children from public school lessons using LGBTQ storybooks, reversing lower court rulings in favor of the Montgomery County school system in suburban Washington. The decision, though, is called not a final ruling in the case, but justices did strongly suggest that the parents will prevail in the end. Today, the president said he would consider bombing Iran again. What does the White House want?
President Trump says Iran must open itself to nuclear inspection. The president has said American attacks on Iran completely and fully obliterated its nuclear program. At the White House, he says a demand in future talks would be for Iran to cooperate with inspectors.
Or somebody that we respect, including ourselves.
Iran's foreign minister left open the possibility of nuclear talks, but suggested not anytime soon.
We were talking about this for 30 years, about Iran being nuclear. And all I said is it will not be nuclear, and it's not going to be nuclear.
The president was asked if he would consider bombing Iran again.
Sure, without question, absolutely.
The president directed a message to Iran's supreme leader, calling him a man of faith.
I have to tell the truth, he got beat to hell. And Israel was beat up too. They were both beat up.
There's been speculation Iran moved much of its highly enriched uranium before the strikes. Ed Donahue, Washington.
There are new questions about birthright citizenship after today's Supreme Court ruling that district courts do not have the power to block the president's actions nationwide.
President Trump took a victory lap Friday, making a rare appearance in the White House briefing room. He commented on the Supreme Court decision limiting the use of nationwide injunctions by federal courts.
The Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law.
The president said the administration will promptly proceed with plans to implement his executive order ending birthright citizenship, and signaled he would use this decision to move forward on other policies hit by injunctions. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
A settlement in the ill-fated Rust movie set case that claimed the life of the cinematographer. The crew of the movie, with Alex Baldwin, has reached a settlement against the film's producers, which does include the actor. The crew members alleged emotional distress after cinematographer Helena Hutchins was shot and killed on set. The producers denying they failed to follow industry safety rules. Baldwin, handling the gun at the time, said he did not know it had live ammunition. Terms of the settlements have not been disclosed. Winds news time 7:51. Time for traffic and transit. Here's Greg Rice.
A whole lot of messes in Queens. Eastbound LI at the Clearview rollover leaves only one lane open. It's already bad to Queens Boulevard. Westbound LI at the Cross Island. It's a broken down truck in the middle lane and then more rubbernecking over at the Clearview. Eastbound Jackie getting over to Queens Boulevard. Looks like you're dealing with an accident blocking one lane. And then on the eastbound Grand Central, once you're there at 188th Street, a collision in the left lane. Eastbound Belt with a wreck over at Sunrise. Citybound George 30 up, 20 down. Cross Bronx, the worst of it out. Lincoln and Holland, no more than about 10 either way. Traffic is sponsored by Natural Heaven Deliciously Smart Foods. Love pasta and rice bread. Hate carbs. Natural Heaven makes pasta, rice, mac and cheese, and ready-made meals from Hearts of Palm, a delicious veggie rich in fiber and vitamins. Find them at Fairway, Cinderella, Amazon, or EatNaturalHeaven.com. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Now, the AccuWeather 4-day forecast with meteorologist Brian Thompson.
There still could be a shower or two around as we head through tonight, but much of the time will be dry with a good deal of clouds, a low of 65. Now, the humidity will start to creep up a bit as the night goes on, and it will be a humid day tomorrow, much more humid than today. Also warmer with clouds and some sunshine. There can be a thunderstorm or two very late in the afternoon into the evening hours, damaging winds and flash flooding the main concerns, a high of 83. Turning out partly cloudy later tomorrow night with a low of 71, and then the humidity drops into Sunday. It's going to be a very warm day, but again, not quite as steamy as tomorrow with sunshine and some clouds up to 87 on Sunday. Hot and more humid Monday with intervals of clouds and sun. We can't rule out a thunderstorm. Monday's high will be close to 90. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station. 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
At PPAC Private Bank and Trust, we know that achieving success comes with complexity. Opportunities arise, goals evolve. With intimate knowledge of your financial situation and access to a world of services and expertise, a PPAC Private Relationship Manager will keep everything in focus so you can keep moving forward. PPAC Private, a single point of contact for a world of financial advice. Visit ppacprivate.com today. Member FDIC.
Glen Gariff Rehabilitation and Healthcare Center is Nassau County's premier location for subacute rehabilitation and skilled nursing care. Glen Gariff provides on-site dialysis services, cardiopulmonary rehabilitation, and signature programming such as the comprehensive amputee rehabilitation program led by Paralympic gold medalists, concierge services, and unique recreation programming. Visit CareRightCenters.com to learn more. We start where others stop.
California is facing a disturbing trend as new numbers reveal a rise in hate crimes targeting certain groups.
Hate crimes against the LGBTQ community spiked nearly 14% last year, the biggest increase in the annual California hate crime report. Attacks against Jews saw the second largest increase, up 7.3%. San Francisco District Attorney Brooke Jenkins is encouraging all Americans to report hate crimes, no matter how small.
Even if someone is espousing hate, we need to be aware of it as law enforcement, and so I do continue to encourage the public to report.
Overall, the report finds hate crimes increased 2.7% in California from 2023 to 2024.
That report from correspondent Matt Bigler. A follow-up to a story we're covering here on 1010 Wins, a heartbreaking case of neglected dogs found in terrible condition in Brooklyn. And rescuers say they need your help. The dogs were rescued from a woman's home who had passed away, say investigators. Now they need around 80 fosters. Marlon Roberts, Executive Director, NYC Life Saving Center, Best Friends Animal Society, telling 1010 Wins.
The dogs were found.